Got a pretty good stack of parts, and I am finally back in here working on the 48 engine compartment, getting the rest of this stuff laid out. Got some pretty cool ideas for the air intake that is going to look really clean and be very cool. So I'm going to start working on that here soon. I've got a bunch of things I need to get kind of set in place so that I can start printing some parts. I have a where is it? Here we go. A couple of these all-star aluminum tanks right here, and those are going to mount on each side of the radiator. One will be the overflow and one will be my degas for the supercharger, one on each side here. So I've got to cut these aluminum brackets off of here. We're going to get these polished and cleaned up so they match with the radiator, and make a couple of brackets that will slide right into this little slot here and bolt on and hold those on each side. And then I believe I have a little bit of clearancing to do up in this area for my bottom hoses to come out. All right, so my attachment points for the tanks on each side of the radiator, I really don't want to use a worm drive clamp, so I've got these T-clamps here. They're nice stainless, definitely hold these little tanks in position for a long time. But the problem is I can't just put a little slot in here for the clamp to go through like a worm drive, because you got to fit all of this or all of that through the slot. So my initial thought is I could do like a little groove here, come over and make the clamp kind of slide down in and lock in. But that is just aluminum, and I would really like for it to be stronger than that. So I got this piece of stainless out, and I am going to make a bracket that actually bolts into that, where the I'll probably put an extra hole down here on the bottom on each side and have that bracket bolt in, and then the clamps will go around the bracket and hold the tank in. So instead of trying to explain that unsuccessfully, let's just make it. right, so we got all the pieces here. Just using these little C-clips, and I am not going to drill the extra holes in here because this is not the radiator we're using. You can see this one's kind of beat up. We'll be using a different one, so I will drill the correct holes in the one that we need. So we'll strap that around there. That's going there. It's good right there. All right, so there is my overflow tank there on the passenger side, my degas on the driver's side. We just need fittings and get the hoses put in, and then they will drop down a little bit. I just need to do a little bit of relief cutting in the core support to get that to drop down and get the fittings in. And then of course I will polish these up and add the 2 extra holes when we get the radiator that is actually going to go in and we're doing final assembly. I'll drill those last 4 holes in there. Those will be nice and polished and drop in and be beautiful. And of course we need to get 3 matching caps. So I made a hell of a mess in here. There are parts pieces everywhere, but I did manage to get a lot of this buttoned up in here. I'm going to start building some brackets to get everything secured and nice and tight to the inner fender so that we don't have any issues with tires rubbing or anything like that. There looks to be a lot of room in here, but there really isn't. And especially once the truck is down lower to the ground, I want to make sure that none of these lines can be caught on a tire or hit or be getting rubbed on. So the last line runs at number 10 from right there back to the firewall. I had to order another one. The one I ordered was too long. I would have had to put some kind of weird loop or something in it. So that is on its way. I do have the access panel built, as you can see, with the bulkhead in it and all the wiring and grommets running through. And I did open up the inner fender here for those AC lines to run through, so I don't have to worry about them rubbing on anything metal. So that'll be nice. Let's get to making some brackets, get this stuff secured, and I can actually button up the inside of the heater box as well. All of the plumbing is finally done in the engine bay and underneath the dash. I have the bulkhead fittings running through under the dash there for the heater hoses. Those run up nice through there to some quick disconnects. I did not run any of the 3/4 inch line on the barbs just because that makes them garbage because they don't come off, so there's no reason to waste that. I've got it all lined up and know what I need. The tank that we printed, the pumps, everything is ready to go. There is one hole right down there for that 3/4 inch line out of the pump to run through into the bottom of the intercooler that we will drill when we take this thing apart. Both of the tanks, the overflow and the degas, are in and piped and ready. The radiator hoses are in the box, but those came from Ford Performance with that package checked. Those already fit perfectly. All of the AC lines are crimped and tied up really nicely to the inner fender there. I'm going to make a couple of clips here just to join these 2 hard lines together, but other than that, this is all tidied up and ready. And I already told you where those extra wires go, so we'll deal with all that in final assembly. So come around this way, we'll go up underneath the dash in the opening, you can see the AC lines and heater lines attached to the heater box there, ready to go. And this is the other side of that bulkhead fitting that was on the inner fender. That's all terminated and ready. And that is that power distribution block mounted underneath the heater box. This cover right here comes off so you can see all of the fuses. So that'll be really nice in there, a lot better than having it mounted on the firewall. This is the heater lines coming through from the firewall. We've got an H pipe there just to keep all the coolant flowing when the heater is off, and that is the shutoff valve there. And then you can see everything runs right up over the top of that heater box, nice and clean, ready to go. So now that that is together, let's come around here. Last thing I need to do before everything finally comes apart up here and goes over to paint is this air intake, and I am working on a piece right now that will hopefully be ready tomorrow or the next day, and I can show you what our plans are for that. But for now, I'm out of here.